Yeah. Let me drop exclusive game from my exclusive mind. You be out here chasing fame, I stay steady on my grind. Zero diamonds, zero chains.
All right, we're recording, so go.
Thank you for tapping into the Exclusive Minds podcast. Today we're going to be having an exclusive conversation.
Oh, no. I thought you were going to do it with the funny voice.
Yeah, you got to, bro.
Fine. How did I do it? I don't even remember how I did it.
Oh, it was perfect. You gotta do it with the funny voice.
Thank you for tapping into the Exclusive Minds podcast. Today we're going to be having an exclusive conversation with exclusive content from Exclusive Minds. I'm your host, Rook, and
Joe?
let's get right into it. Today we have Cameron Bedsole.
Yo.
What's going on, Cam? How you
we
doing? Good, man. Good. So we got our third guest, fourth guest, something along those lines.
I think so. Well,
Yeah.
yes.
All right.
Yeah, happy to be here.
We are on episode number 8 of the Exclusive Minds podcast.
I
so
love the
far.
intro, so we'll have to see if we can...
Yeah, so that intro was a bit of real satire and just like authenticity from our very own Marcus Lever behind the scenes, or Marcus Carter. He came up with that one, and we're like, yeah, it's pretty good, pretty catchy. We'll have to rock out with it.
I like it.
I know.
Yeah, keep it for the next more episodes.
Yeah, Cam, you used to have a podcast back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into that, I guess we should do the recap. You know?
So let's kind of stick with our standard
script.
agenda.
Yeah,
So,
let's get into it.
a real quick update on Exclusive Minds clothing. We have to fall on the sword yet again because we can never seem to get the actual ship thing dialed in. But so what we promised a bunch of shipments earlier this week, and obviously it's Thursday as of this recording, and we have not yet shipped. The good news is that I'm looking at a pile of hoodies that just came in this morning, so they will be shipping today, if not tomorrow. So apologies for that. We're about 3 or 4 days behind. I will blame FedEx. I got to throw somebody under the bus, right?
I mean, it can't be us. Absolutely can't be us.
Yeah, it's interesting. We had a partial delivery coming in from the West Coast, and it was really weird. We were given a delivery date that would have allowed us to ship everything earlier in the weekend.
Yeah.
Damn if it didn't sit in Pittsburgh for like 4 days. And I'm like, what the hell is going on in Pittsburgh? So I don't know if some of these hoodies caught a Steelers game, or went to Falling Water, or had some pierogies and sausages.
For the
Polish
podcast, we'll
sausages?
say
I
that
don't
they
know.
fell to the bottom of the ocean. Someone had to scuba dive to the bottom of the abyss, and now they're here.
Yeah, I had
Yes.
to take time to dry off.
Yeah, and it took time to dry off, exactly.
The good news is they are here, and I promise you they are shipping today or tomorrow. Tomorrow being Friday, today being Thursday.
Yeah.
So that's the update on that. Again, apologies for those who placed orders, but they're out. We've got some T-shirts coming. Do we want to talk about that, or just leave them?
We'll keep that as a to be continued thing.
Okay.
T-shirts
so
to be continued.
we do have some T-shirts in the works. So yeah, we'll come back on that one.
Yeah.
Then a quick date on the podcast. I know over the last couple of episodes, we were probably shooting our mouths off about how we were going to try and do a live cast of the
Here we go.
Jake Paul and Tyrone Woodley fight. So that's not going to happen. Some technical and scheduling issues.
All right, let's just address the elephant in the room. I double scheduled my day on Saturday.
Idiot.
I had a Spider-Man screening that I'm supposed to go to that I already prepaid for like a group of people, and then I also promised to do the live fight, which we were initially just gonna have to watch later on, but then Mikey was like, "Oh, I want to watch it live," which is understandable. He's into boxing, so I can't really give him too much stuff for that. But yeah, so it ended up working out. We'll probably just do a recap of some sort the following day or Monday or whatever it is.
We'll bake something into
So we'll definitely get that going, but it won't be live, and we still kind of have to work on the whole like live stuff. So that's coming soon, but yeah, it won't be recorded live, unfortunately.
Yeah, it probably doesn't make sense to do live until we get the video worked out. So
Yeah, exactly.
we'll probably curtail talking any more about live until we can actually figure it out. The other thing is, it was funny. I actually lost all energy for it after the Tyson dude dropped out, because I still think that would have been kind of an interesting
been a
fight,
good
just
fight,
from the sheer hatred those two dudes had. And I saw that I guess this morning Jake Paul said that he won't reschedule that fight ever. That guy had his shot, and that's it. He's done. So I thought that was actually kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, he they know how to market. I mean, and on top of that, now I saw Jake Paul. He's doing a lot of like ventures, like he's investing in a lot of businesses, and his main asset is just his brand because he's such a marketable type of guy.
Yeah.
But before we continue any of the topics, our last thing before we introduce our guest, I'm sorry for having him sit here doing nothing, is our crypto. I messed up my crypto a little bit over the weekend just because there was such a crazy deal on, I guess you could call it a deal.
Well, you had almost like 500 billion in your portfolio.
Yeah, so I guess
talk about that.
Yeah, okay,
as being
so
the new billionaire.
yeah, so for the title of this podcast, we'll call it Overnight Billionaire, I guess you could say.
That'll get some hooks.
Yeah, so that'll get some clicks for us. So a week ago, I guess Coinbase or not Coinbase, but the coins itself got hacked. The market cap got lowered, so making each coin worth a lot more than what it actually was. So I have an unhealthy, or I guess you could say healthy addiction to looking at my Coinbase just to make sure everything's going smoothly.
Oh yeah.
I look at it, and lo and behold, I had some $500 billion in my account. So I messaged the group chat. Everyone's like, pull out. I'm trying to go on it. I'm clicking every button on the app, trying to pull out my assets, and it says not tradable. And then it was just such a tease, though, because you could see the account, like, it would do a live tracking, so you could track, like, oh, it went to 499 billion or 500 billion. You could see, like, you could track it all.
That's crazy.
So it was just, I guess, a glitch, or someone hacked into the system.
Yeah, the
on the back
screenshot
end.
was classic. You should send that, and I'll actually put that in the graphic for.
Okay, yeah,
it
for
is
sure.
kind of funny that.
I was all jealous. I still had like my couple figures, and then this dude has like billions of dollars in his account. I'm
Hey,
like,
coming soon, man.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for
Trust
the best.
process.
I'm very hopeful for that.
It gives no meaning to crypto being explosive, though. I tell you what.
Oh my god, yeah, bro, for sure. So I guess the update would be, so I pulled out some of my EOS, so I kind of messed up the whole system. I apologize for that, Joe. But I reinvested in Ethereum. So I just literally transferred my digital asset into Ethereum. So I put $200 as a base for Ethereum. I invested in it at, getting the number for you, $3,700. It went down significantly over the weekend, and it is up to about 40, 60, 68 right now.
Yeah, not
Wow.
bad.
And I made about $20 on it. Nothing too crazy, but just
money's money.
hey, man, for sure. Yeah. How about your investment? You were in Decentraland. How's that going for you?
So I'm in the Decentraland at $3.49, and it is currently trading at $3.30.
Ah, damn.
So I am down about 5% in the course of a week.
If it makes you feel any better, yesterday there was a sale for Decentraland at $2.98. It's just one of those things that you just can't. There's no
predict it.
you can't predict.
Well,
it.
so what do you mean there was a sale? I don't.
No, like it was
It just dropped
It just
down.
dropped down crazy
Oh,
yesterday. But yeah, I mean, I Decentraland's a fantastic investment in my personal opinion.
Yeah, that's one of the first ones I was scouting out whenever I first got into crypto.
Yeah. How about you, Kim? Do you have any that you recently got that you could put your 2 cents in?
Recently, as in like a couple weeks ago, whenever we were talking about well, I was researching some cryptocurrencies like new to Coinbase because that's my go-to app for trading. But I was researching different coins that recently came out, and then it showed a trend. As soon as they got introduced to Coinbase, they skyrocketed.
That's your thing. You
Yeah.
love doing that.
I mean, I feel like everybody, especially the young generation nowadays, are trying to find that fast way to get money. So the short-term investments is really trending with people our age, but I feel like as soon as you grow up, you start to realize that long-term is the way to go.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
So talk about, I guess, to give a little introduction, you're Cameron Bensel. You had a podcast previously
yeah,
to everything.
I,
Talk about that a little bit.
I had a podcast. Is it all right if I plug it? I mean, I don't
Go
really have
for
the
it.
videos
Go
up
for
there
it.
anymore, but it was called Couchversations with Cam, and I would just do it on my couch in my living room. This was like, wow, what was this, like 2 summers ago that I started it? I just kind of just did it with some people that I played sports with or went to high school with, and I didn't really expect much to come out of it. I mean, not much really came out of it. I mean, I met you along the way of doing it.
Yeah,
which
that
is-
was awesome.
Which is the way to go. But yeah, it was all me by myself. I was just bringing a couple friends a week. It was a long process. I mean, just not realizing how much I had to go into it. I mean, recording and making sure the audios line up with the recording, and it was just tedious. And I didn't really have like this setup that you guys have now, so this is like just crazy to look at because I'm like, wow. Like I had like the little lavalier mics, and would just connect that to all the different iPhone devices that I had just laying around the house.
You and Jordan there.
Put it
the dual setup.
Put in voice memos and put on my little it wasn't even like a cinematography camera. It was a photo camera, Canon T6 or something like that. But it was like it was fun.
It did the job.
Yeah, and my main problem, like downfall of it, was obviously the semester starting back up again, and then I was just trying to. I set like a set date for when the stuff would come out. So I recorded. You kind of
would like pressure yourself.
Yeah, I would pressure myself and try and get all the editing done in one sitting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that would just put a lot of stress on myself, and then classes picked up, and it was just like
a lot going on. Yeah,
like
I think whenever you give yourself a deadline, and me and Joe kind of have this battle whenever we're saying, all right, well, we're gonna roll out a drop on December 10th, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, now we kind of do the marketing, got to do all this. I remember the one summer we had, do you remember when the masks came out, we like had to do everything like the night before. It was like 11 p.m. We're texting in the group chat like, yo, we have to set all the the descriptions. I think like it was just last minute. Like it was like really last minute. It kind of added a lot of stress to us. So when you kind of have like healthy deadlines, it definitely makes you more productive than you just, all right, I need to get this done in an unrealistic amount of time and see what happens. And sometimes it kind of works against you because you're kind of rushing, you're missing something that you would, if you had more time, would easily catch.
That podcast and just college in general really helped me with the idea of time management. Just like managing my time, making sure everything's getting done on time. And
I mean, the challenge is always when you bring others into your time management.
Yeah,
you're relying on the actions of others, right? Because that's part of the problem with some of the promises we make on the exclusive mind side. It's not necessarily us, right? We have good intentions and good thoughts, and then someone else screws it up outside the sphere of influence.
I mean, just for today, for example, we had a deadline today. All right, let's be at Joe's at 11:15.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, but before we get into that, this is a message I have from Cam, actually, August 20th, 2019. Yo, I'm not
bro, it's crazy because I was about to pull up the receipts too.
I said, yo, you're rooming with my boy Jordan this coming year. I F with your brand and your vision. I have a podcast on YouTube and I'm starting up season 2 when I get back to Dub C, which is Westchester. Was wondering if you wanted to become on an episode. I talk about anything and everything, mostly current topics and stuff like that. But let me know, man, if you would be interested. And then obviously I was like, I guess I could help out a small brand,
that see the also.
And then that was the worst decision I made in my entire life. Then I had to learn with this Cam, carry him through project. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
So was this the interview you did for or you talked about Exclusive Minds?
Yeah. Okay. That was like 2 years ago.
My regret with that podcast was I didn't really. It was literally our first time meeting. Mm-hmm. That was our first time meeting.
Literally, he walked in. 5 minutes later, we were like, all right, let's get this thing going.
I felt like we hit it off early, but like I just didn't really know that much about you. And like one thing I wish we talked about more in that podcast was just like yourself, your business. I felt like, my whole podcast was centered around just like current topics. I didn't really dig deep into like what the guest has to say. It was more like a podcast than like an interview.
Yeah, for sure.
If you know what I mean. But
and
like
going back, do you like kind of regret like stopping it, keeping that momentum going, or do you kind of like, did you think that helped you kind of?
If I kind of developed like a way to better like use my time more efficiently and plan out the podcast and just kind of bring on somebody like Jordan was helping me out with like recording. I wish I could have him like edit one segment of it and then I do the other. I mean, but also that's just like working with somebody else, got to be around their time, and it was difficult, but it was fun while it lasted. It was definitely like a highlight.
I mean, we've only done 8 episodes, but we've done it pretty organic. It's almost just straight record it, throw it up. I do very minimal editing, if any, right? And
it's raw. It's
it
authentic.
Avoids if you really kind of got into the editing, that could be very time consuming and So we'll see. I mean, over time, I think we'll fine tune it and we'll kind of dial in. That's kind of the plan, is to keep it organic and keep it loose. So
sure.
I feel some of your pain because we're kind of going through that now. There's no set rhyme or reason to the agenda. We, bring people on and just sort of rap and see where it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's kind of the beauty behind it, like the reason we started it was just because like we both have like different viewpoints on certain things, and it's just kind of therapeutic, you know what I mean? Like rather than going to a therapist and having to pay money, you can relate to the people who like kind of are just like us, that are, entrepreneurs starting businesses, or anyone of different ages.
I'm always trying to remember why we started it.
I think for that reason, right?
Oh, you know what it was? Is we wanted to talk about generational differences.
Yeah, exactly, right. But yeah, I don't know. So shifting gears, the reason we were late today, people don't like to do their job.
So one more quick update. So let's talk Yeezys, since that's one of our favorite topics, right? So I think last week we were talking about the Yeezy. Are those the 500s? I can't remember.
I'm wearing the 500s,
right? So I got those. Damn if they weren't too tight, so they were returned. So the sucky thing about Yeezys is when you return them, you cannot exchange them. So you are pretty much SOL. So I don't have them anymore, and I'm a little annoyed. So
yeah, we did a live unboxing on the last podcast. I think the value of them actually went up. Joe's from Exclusive Minds Yeezy collection. You could have probably got a quick buck off that.
Yeah, but I did notice that they've got some clothing coming out. He's got his Gap clothing popping out now.
The puffer jacket.
Dude. Yeah.
That's getting restocked sometime this week or next week.
I got an email this morning that said it's up and available to order.
I really like the hoodies that he dropped. I mean, they're different. There's like no. I mean, I guess that's like his go-to thing, is like there's no big like brand names on it.
Yeah,
minimalistic.
So I mean, I like it, but for resale right now, I think it's going for like anywhere from like 110 to like 150. So
yeah, I mean that's not bad. I was just in King of Prussia Mall. It's funny, we talked about like going to malls, but I went there last weekend, and I was gonna buy the Nike Tech suits. They're like just like I guess Nike's spin off of how like Adidas has like the stripes going up. I'm wearing the pants actually right now, but I bought the top for it, and it was $130.
Man,
so I was gonna buy the pants. They're $110. So altogether, it was $240 or whatever
for a tracksuit.
So listen, right? So they didn't have the pants in 3 of the stores. I was walking all around. I get to the 4th store, and the guy's like, "Yeah, there's none in the mall. You have to go to Cherry Hill Mall." I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going anywhere, so I'm gonna return it now, because like first of all, it settled in my mind that I just paid $130 for a tracksuit that or $130 just for the top that I don't even really necessarily want. I was just buying it as a Christmas Day outfit for when we're going to like Uncle Mario's or my house or whatever. I returned it, and it was like one of those moments where it's like, I really didn't want this. Like, just because like
that's exactly.
I bought it and I got like customer regret. I was like, this is terrible. Like, I can't believe I fell into a trap for $130. I was gonna buy a Nike top, like a hoodie.
Foam runners with me, homie.
Yeah, but then you're getting customer.
I got customer regret. I mean, now that I look back on it, I bought just for a little context, I bought a pair of Yeezy Foam Runner Oakleys for resale around. They went down a little bit. I bought them at like $172, but after processing fees and shipping, it was like $194 or something like that.
Ouch.
Yeah, and that.
Joe's laughing at retail price. He's like, I bought these for a good $80.
Well, I mean, I'm dead set against paying anything above, whatever
retail
their release price is. So if I can't get them on release, forget it. I'll just wait them out. And it's no big deal, because he ends up dropping them. Again, right? We were talking about those 450s that are now up on confirmed, and I got those black ones, I don't know, 6 months ago, and they're up again, right? Yeah. He's putting them out again. So you just have to have some patience. Patience is tough for anybody, but
with good patience.
I'm sorry. I got a question for both of you.
What's up?
If the Yeezy brand wasn't a thing and somebody put those out, like say like Vans or something, put out all the models of Yeezy, would you still buy them?
Absolutely not.
I would. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even saying this just to be different. I'm gonna buy it just because I like the like for the feeling. That's like the main thing. Like when I'm buying like
Oh, yeah.
I wear these like 500s like all the time.
Yeah.
Just because like I like the feeling of
Bro,
them.
you see my 350s? They are used and
Yeah.
abused.
And I bought the Ultra Boost. I guess that could be like the next thing. Like they're Adidas, but there's no name attached. There's no Yeezy attached to the Ultra Boost. I love the Ultra Boost just because it's comfortable, you know?
They are.
But I think that's like the main thing that, he has going for him is because a bunch of people tried it, but I feel like he has something that they don't have, which is like he cares about the product. I know it sounds like kind of corny, like, oh, he probably just doing it for money, whatever. But I feel like the product itself kind of is good enough alone. Like if they were to kind of put it out and just say that this is the Adidas foam runner, I feel like people would still buy it just because it's comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, the foam runner is kind of a stretch because that one is like a little bit like
taste.
Yeah, it's definitely like more acquired. But if they were to come out with like the V2, for example, or like the V1s, like the what are they? The turtle dove colorway or whatever, people would be all over that,
I remember the first time I saw a pair of or whenever they first released the 350s, the V1s, I was like, I don't see these things selling. Like,
boy, were you wrong.
they were different. They were just like, I've never seen a pair of shoes like them. It's probably just like the midsole or like the soles of them that were different. But and then my friend came to school with a pair of what were they? They were Breads, the primary black with the
They're fire.
He came to school with them. He was wearing my size, and I was like, "Yo, could I try those on real quick?" He was like, "Yeah." And then I tried them on, and I felt like I was walking on a cloud.
Oh, yeah,
it was
dude,
like
super cozy, man.
oh my god,
I love them. So this is a question for the both of you. Joe, start us off here. Like, could you, when you're like, I guess, evaluating a person, like for someone like Kanye West, right? Is it easy for you to detach that person's character from their artwork, like? Or would you say that's a relatively hard characteristic? Because, like, when looking at someone, I know it's hard to say, like, oh, I don't like this person because what they stand for. Like, you might say, like, oh, he's, like, egotistical, arrogant, whatever. But, oh, his music's dope, by the way. Are you someone that's able to differentiate the two? Or do you kind of blend them all together? And do you just like the overall concept of what is Yeezy, you know? Or is it anything for that matter, not just that?
I mean, I guess, so my initial reaction is I can't separate them. Right, but then I think about it, and I'm like, I don't listen to Yeezy music, right? So, or Kanye West music, but I love the shoes, right? Yeah. So that's kind of separating the art from the person.
Yeah, absolutely. I would consider that so.
So I think on the surface though, I kind of blend it together.
Okay, fair enough.
I feel like you kind of almost have to do that just throughout life. Like you gotta, like for you, example, I separate you from like the friend that I know, David Watson, with the businessman I know, David Watson, and like the gamer, the fun David Watson. No, I'm kidding. But I feel like with Kanye, he's done a lot of questionable stuff in the past, but whenever you look at the other side of him, like the business and the music side of him, he's done things that nobody will ever do.
Yeah,
nobody has done, nobody will ever do. And for that, I mean, you got to applaud him.
Yeah, I mean, look at the brand Gap. We were just talking about that. Gap was always just like that.
It was there.
It was like that clothing store that you would get when you were like a kid. Your mom would take you into Gap, get you a Gap hoodie or whatever. And now he's working with them, and I could only imagine what their net sales are going to be like. This quarter. It's probably going to be like through the moon.
Like I would never think that somebody like that influential would ever work with like company that has kind of went down in
that's a lot of
yeah. So I mean, the thing that's kind of interesting to me is even if you look at the way the shoes are sold, right, and it's looking like that's going to be the same way that
the jackets
Gap is selling the clothing, it's almost a complete separate transaction. Like I don't know how much, like when I'm buying Yeezy shoes, there's not a lot of cross selling with the broader Adidas portfolio, right? It's kind of isolated. And,
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? So it always makes me wonder obviously he's selling billions of dollars worth of shoes and that's the value for Adidas. But at the same time, I'm thinking like, if you think about Gap and they signed him for whatever, billions of dollars for the clothing I don't think that those are ever going to get sold in the stores. Right.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder like how much cross promotion is actually going on. Now they're going to sell a crap ton of that, but even like this morning when I got the email, letting me know about the puffer jacket. If you go, it's very much like the Yeezy, the Yeezy site where it's isolated and there's no ability to kind of cross-link to any other Gap product, which is kind of interesting.
I think he tried to do that with Adidas almost, but it didn't really work out. It was like those track pants, the Calabasas track pants.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? He tried to do that, I think, with those, and they did relatively well. I don't really remember.
I remember they did fairly well,
but they didn't stick.
Yeah. Same with the. I'm pretty sure he has a pair of shoes called they're under the Yeezy name, the Calabasas shoes.
It kind of looks like the Stan Smith silhouette type deal.
Yeah.
But it never sticks. It's just like, all right, I want the Oakleys.
But I mean, even if you look at like the Pharrell shoes we were just talking about, right? Those are regularly up, and they kind of have the same cachet, right? And they're hard to get. But those are like on the main Adidas website, and there's a lot of cross pollination with all the other
human made stuff
that doesn't happen with Yeezy. It's just kind of interesting, an interesting dynamic. I mean, obviously he's isolating and really building his brand and focusing on his brand and making you kind of focus on his brand. But at the same time, it seems like it loses a little bit of the potential value.
Yeah. He just went. He had a pretty big concert this past weekend.
With Drake.
Yeah, with Drake. How'd you feel about that? Seeing them back on the stage again.
Yeah, they were performing each other's songs. It was like, and my mom called me. It was like,
was this online with Amazon?
It was on Amazon.
Okay, yeah.
My mom called me during the middle of it. And I was like, Mom, I gotta hang up. This is like a once in a lifetime thing. Like I didn't know it was gonna be like restreamed on the Amazon Prime Video. I thought it was like a
one-time deal.
Yeah, one-time deal.
Yeah.
But
it was cool seeing
it was an
them
amazing
together.
concert. Yeah,
I would love to have been there. Like if you looked at it from like just like a viewing perspective, and we're gonna get off the topic Yeezy and Drake. I feel like we can always go back to this.
Was this concert recorded earlier or was it live?
No,
it was live. It was crazy. They had like
the production that they had for like the first 20-25 minutes of it. It was like the pretty sure he calls it the Sunday Service Choir.
Yeah, but they had the guy that made the Joker movie with Phoenix.
Joaquin
Phoenix. Yeah, they had the guy that made the Joker, the director of that. He was doing the whole thing, so it was pretty cool. He went really in detail with it. Yeah. But anyway, let's shift gears a little bit.
Talk about why you were late today, David.
Yeah, I guess so. So we were supposed to be here at 11 o'clock. Well, 11:15 because I was getting a flu shot. Yeah, I get the flu shot. And I was in the CVS, went there sharp, because I like to be early most of the time. So I went there. It was probably like, let's call it 10:55. Checked in. Like, all right, be with you in 2 minutes. Get behind the red screen. I go behind the red screen, and no one came. Cameron shows up. Still no one there. It's like 11:25 at this point. I'm like, all right, I need to get this, whatever. I'm like, hey, like I've been here for 30 minutes. No one's gave me the shot. They're like, well, did you check in? I'm like, yeah, of course. Why would I just walk behind the red screen? I wouldn't just do that on my own, like on my own fruition. Like I kind of just like went there for one sole thing. She's like, okay, well, we don't have you on the record that no one checked in. I was like, what? I was like, that guy. Now I was like kind of upset, so I started pointing. I was like, that guy checked me in right there. Like he's the one that did it. He did it. Yeah. And then she was like, okay, well, we'll be right out. She came out literally. It was
within
probably like a 2-minute process.
90 seconds,
90 seconds. I was in and out of there by the time she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Da, da, da. I was like, "Yeah, it's fine, whatever. Not your fault." But it's just like, hey, do your job. Like, what are we here for? You know what I'm saying?
What
like,
are you getting paid for?
Yeah, there was no one in the store. Like, it would have been like I would have been more accommodating if it was busy.
Yeah.
Like there was like a long line. We're talking.
Like,
it was like me, Cam, and like 2 other people.
There's like 5 people that went through the line while we were waiting.
And I was like, oh my god, dude, this is ridiculous. But anyway,
it's only going up from here for now on.
Man, it's a cruel world we live in. So I got people like my segment that we had on the last one. I don't know if you guys have any characters or people that you would want to do the net worth game with, but I could start us off with 4 people I have here off the top.
Wait, run that back. What's the net worth game?
So what we do is I'm going to give a person, like, for example, my first person is Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah, I remember watching this last episode.
Okay, so we're going to do this, and then I'm going to say a number, and then you're going to say over or under, and then just kind of a little bit of background. This. Okay, starting off, Michael Jordan. Everyone knows Michael Jordan, basketball player.
Who?
Michael Jordan?
Never heard of him.
Yeah. I knew
Is he the guy who
he plays
the actor who played Rocky or Creed?
Yeah, that's him. That's him. Okay. So Michael Jordan, net worth over or under $2 billion.
Over. Over.
I'm gonna have to say under.
No, it's over. Way over.
1.6 billion.
No, lies. The Charlotte Bobcats are probably worth
He
more
got
than
that from
He's-
Wikipedia.
He signed a contract for Nike as a U.S. brand, agreed an upfront commitment of $250,000 and own his own sneaker line. Dang, that's actually well, I guess for inflation and everything back in the day.
Well,
I don't
didn't Nike buy the Jordan brand?
know. Oh, maybe.
like, didn't-
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
Like, you remember how Apple bought Beats by Dre?
Yeah.
I think it's like the same type deal.
I thought so. I thought I read that somewhere.
I thought they just keep signing them to like this 10-year revolving.
They
Or maybe
might,
it's a
yeah.
lifetime contract now. I don't know, but
I think is this house still for sale? Wasn't it for sale for like
yeah, that
20
one in
million?
Chicago. They
Yeah,
can't. He can't get rid of it
Yeah,
because
it's
it's
like
got 23 over everything.
everything.
right?
Yeah,
They
and it's
can't-
like
the
I think
steel
like
gate
it
and-
was started off as like a listing price of 20 million, then it went down to like 17, 15. I think it's at like 10 now. But
He's really living his best life because I remember my friend's mom saw him down in Ocean City, Maryland.
no way.
Yeah, at this one
fishing tournament.
Yeah, it was because he likes to fish, but he was sitting at this restaurant. They had like the private room blocked off. He was just
Just doing his
sitting
own
there
thing.
talking.
All right,
So
the
where are
next-
you getting these numbers? Because
I just Google them. I'm gonna be honest. I just Google them. They could
that's
be wrong.
He's
Okay.
worth way more than.
All right.
1.6
Well, it could be wrong. I'm just literally going to Google and I'm typing in Michael Jordan net worth. First thing that pops up. Not really in depth.
It's probably
That's
not
our
worth
Forbes.
arguing though, right?
Yeah.
1.6, 2.
Yeah. I mean,
Millions is
just give me a
millions.
slice of the pie. I'll be happy.
His life doesn't suck.
So next up, we got XQC. He's like the top streamer on Twitch. So one subscription's about $4.99. They get I think like $2.50 of that. He was a competitive gamer. He is I think 24 or 25 years old. Over or under $2 million.
What? I don't know. X what?
XQC.
XQC.
Which
He's
actually, so what's the deal with Rook, by the way?
That's my alias. I've always had that
Is that
alias.
just your game, your
Game name, and then it transitioned into like my
no, it's
marketing
your permanent
thing.
tag?
Permanent tag, yeah. I have the @Rook on Instagram.
You gotta
4
get,
letters.
You gotta get your name legally changed to Rook now. You know
Yeah.
that, right?
right,
So
let's
is it like, was it because of a chess piece or was it something?
I really love the game chess, but that's not the reason why. So starting off, I had a bunch of names, and like like when you're kind of gaming, you could probably agree. Like you always kind of change your name every so often.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
800 Microsoft points, you can
Yeah.
change it or whatever. I just changed it, and then one day I stuck with one because people would always say like, oh, you're not good at COD because your name's Rook. So like, oh, you're a beginner, and I would get on, start frying, do the whole 9 yards, and then it just stuck. Ever since then, I really like the name. 4 letters, super clean.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know who the hell this guy is, and I don't understand Twitch at all. So I'm going to say
You gotta go with the over.
He's probably over. Yeah.
What did I say? 2 million.
Yeah.
Over. $4.2 million per year. Net worth of about 8.5. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's what it said. as
Holy
of
Christ! I got to figure out
October.
Twitch.
October of 2021.
So like
Next-
Twitch is Amazon, right?
Yeah.
And
They-
Yes.
Amazon
It's
owns it.
They
all,
just did that recently, and that's going to propel the platform. Twitch is similar to podcasting, like just like long forms of content. And once you have just a base amount of viewers, like if you get 100 viewers and they're subscribed to you and donating to you, you can make like a career.
So
out
is
of
it
that.
all live streaming video games? Is that all it is? Or?
No, they have
Some people have chatting. Some people do
Chatting.
IRL, like
Okay.
walking along the streets type deal.
Those are hilarious.
Yeah.
They'll do like so they'll be walking in like let's say like I don't know like Philadelphia or
I
something. Just walking
actually
the
should
streets.
probably know this because I mean, World of Warcraft uses Twitch for
Yeah, that's like one of the bigger
Yeah,
ones
yeah,
too.
yeah.
That's like a
They get like the most
Yeah.
views like daily.
absolutely. But yeah, those are hilarious. All right, next up, Bill Gates. Bill Gates.
Are you kidding me? I thought we were joking.
No,
I was joking about that.
I just added this just because you said that. All right. Now I'm gonna. This is gonna be hard because everyone knows this. All right. $145 billion over or under.
So it's under because he just got divorced and lost like a half his money. So
Was that Bill Gates?
Yeah.
yeah. He just got divorced. So
Yeah.
he's got to be.
Thought that
And Amazon too. He did it too.
Yeah, Bezos got divorced too.
Bezos. I was thinking about
So
Bezos.
money does not buy you happiness to answer the last.
Apparently not. Yeah.
What do you think? Over
I'm
or
gonna-
under 145?
Since he got divorced, I might just have to take the under.
136.5. He's
It's
going.
under, but-
He's going poor. Basically, he's gonna have to go to section. I don't know.
I don't
Anyway.
know what to say.
Last one, Tyler Ninja Blevins, pro Fortnite guy back in the day. Used to play with Drake. He played for Drake with that one time.
Travis Scott.
Travis Scott, Juju,
Yeah.
Tyler, that's the dude. Remember last week we were talking about, as I said, that dude in Atlanta, Tyler. Oh God.
Yeah, you were saying something. I remember that you were saying you couldn't remember his name.
Yeah. That's it. Tyler. I think it's
Tyler? Bleverins?
No.
Tyler 1?
Oh God.
I don't know.
Was he a streamer?
No, he's a musician or a movie producer and out of Atlanta.
Oh yeah. I have no idea.
Anyway, sorry. So
You're good. Tyler Ninja Blevins. He was really big back in the day. He was the most popular, most subscribed person for a long time. Over or under $5 million?
I'm gonna say over.
Over?
He has so many partnerships. I have to say over.
All right, over or under $10 million?
Still gonna have to say over.
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry. Yeah.
It took me forever. So I mean, that dude's worth like over $1 billion, right? And you would never know it.
Yeah, Tyler Perry's.
He has a lot of movies.
Yeah, he does.
A lot of good movies too.
But it's not where he makes all his money. I think it's because he's the producer.
He has his own. He has his own
like,
studio,
right.
production studio.
I've seen that because like Will Smith was there and he was like giving like a tour.
I forget what his like mission statement, if
Kevin
you will,
Hart or
behind the whole having his own production company.
Yeah.
I forget, but
So that's the big difference though. You own the content versus being a participant in the content.
Yeah, that's
the money is always you want to be the man, not the man, right? You don't want to be working for somebody, even if you're
owning the masters to your music.
I guess
or
if you're Leonardo DiCaprio or something where you're making
really care.
$50 million a movie, you can get away with it. But generally speaking, right, you don't want to.
Yeah.
You want to be the man, right?
All right, so I updated it $10 million. You said over.
I'm still to say over.
Ninja Blevins, Tyler, big Fortnite guy back in the day. You said over 5. What about 10?
I'm going to say under. I think he probably had his day and he's been fading since, and his money's been running out.
You got a point.
Takes a lot of money to upkeep one of those gigantic mansions out in California, right? So,
And his electric bill because of his insane gaming setup.
This was a handicap because you know about him. You don't, unfortunately. $40 million. The only reason he got that was because he was signed to a $100 million contract with Mixer, and the company went under, and they had to abide by the contract, so they paid him out the whole $100 million.
Yeah.
ouch!
I remember that.
Yeah.
Who the hell is Mixer?
It was a competitor of.
I'm pretty sure they were owned by Microsoft. Yeah, because I remember it was like pre-downloaded on the Xbox or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if they went out of business, how the hell they pay them? But if it's Microsoft backed, and
wait, if Microsoft owns them, how did they go under?
So they didn't go under. They just closed down the operation.
Oh, okay.
They just said
they just probably weren't bringing enough revenue.
Yeah.
Let's just pay this guy off and let's just close his business.
Yeah.
down.
Because he was getting like, there's probably people who know a lot more than I do, but he was getting like tens of thousands of viewers, concurrent viewers back in the day. Like when he was at his peak, he was getting like 200, 300,000. And that when he switched over to Mixer, he was like struggling to maintain 10,000 viewers.
But at the same time, he was getting
a bag, obviously.
Yeah,
but he's now back over on Twitch. But it just goes to show you, like, you know, there's such a brand loyalty to, you know, Twitch that's already established. And then no matter how much you're backed by Microsoft, like one of the top brands, just could still go left. But yeah, do you guys have any people that you thought of, or you just want to go to the next thing?
Next thing, I mean, you kind of caught me off guard with this whole thing. I mean, I'll come to the table again, but I don't.
No, we'll have to. I
I
like that game.
How about Tyler Perry? What's he worth?
I'm gonna say.
Here, I'll tell you.
$1 billion.
Tyler Perry over or under 700 million.
That's ridiculous.
With all the movies he's put out and having his own production company, I'm gonna have to say over. Yeah, over 700 million.
I'm gonna have to say over 700 million as well. I think he's like 1.5. If I'm being honest.
Probably.
It says he's worth 800 million.
Really close.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, I guess it does take a lot to get to a billionaire. So. I mean, but he's been in the movies for like decades. I feel like.
I have to agree with Joe. Like once you probably have a certain amount of millions, like it just probably all blends together. Like you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
I don't know. I mean, everybody says that once you get it, you just keep wanting more and more and more. I mean, I don't know.
I guess.
It's human nature. I mean,
Yeah.
That'd be
I certainly think I could check out, but at the same time, you get it, and you just want to keep cranking it. So
Yeah, I mean, how cool would that be though? Just like one day you're like, today I want to, go into the crypto market, throw a couple $100,000 at a couple of these low coins that just might go up in the market.
Well, so I mean, the difference is if you think about it, like, sure, if you kind of got shit ass lucky on some crypto coin and instantly became like an overnight millionaire or billionaire or whatever it might be,
the next step's maintaining.
It'd be easier for you to mentally just kind of check out and say I'm done with this, versus like think about Exclusive Minds, right? It's kind of your baby. You've been working on it for years and years and years. Then all of a sudden, something happens, right? We
Go
find ourselves on the back of I don't know, J-Lo or something, and the next thing you know, overnight it blows up. But you wouldn't necessarily check out on that, even if like overnight you made $1 million.
That's a fantastic point. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I guess like
it's kind of how you earned it, right?
Yeah,
if you actually worked your ass off to kind of get there, you don't want to just walk away from it and kind of keep it going and keep building it.
Yeah, especially if people are invested in you. Like I just took an order while we were on this podcast for my old RA, and that's somebody who's just like wanting to see the business grow, wanting to know where their money's going.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You have a good point with that one. I don't know. But switching gears to you, the whole college thing. How was your experience with that? We kind of talked about it earlier. How do you I don't know. What's the next step for you? I guess you're a senior. Like
college. I'm going into. I just finished up my first semester of my senior year, so I have one more semester to go. But
you're going for the dual major or just single?
Just single.
Single, gotcha.
I think I'm like only 1 or 2 classes away from a management minor, so I might
away, but I
might
know.
take that as a winner. But I don't know. I mean, I felt like COVID really just, I don't want to say ruined college, but
Effed up everything.
yeah, it messed up everything. But I don't know. I'm getting to the point where like I'm kind of ready to graduate. Feel like I've done and seen a lot in college that I feel like has gotten me past the college experience. So like I feel like I'm ready to get out there. I mean, I've heard a lot of people say that they've been ready to work whenever they're in college, and then they get to working, and then they're just like, "Oh, I wish I was back in college." But
For
like,
sure.
I feel like I'm just ready for like the next chapter of my life, and
get some adult money, as they like to
yeah,
call it. You know what I'm saying?
to feed my expensive taste.
Buy some more Yeezys.
Yeah, no kidding.
Gotta get the Yeezy boot next.
So what was your major?
I'm a marketing major.
And where do you see yourself probably in what do you, I guess, see yourself in, call it 3 years, and then what do you want to, like, what would be your ideal job, like starting up your own thing, working for somebody, kind of growing with a business? What do you?
I always was into the video production, cinematography, the photography. So like I feel
You're
like
in the wrong field, buddy.
So with marketing, I feel like I wanted to get into the advertising aspect of it. So I mean, just working with like commercials or magazine covers or something like that. So because I was always into art and
creative and stuff.
Yeah, creative. So like I felt like if I can get a job in that, it can help me keep like my creative side, so I'm not just going to work every day and just looking at numbers and stuff like that, and just kind of just not happy.
Yeah, for sure. Now, do you would that be your like long-term thing to like start up your own like marketing agency for videography, or
I mean,
just kind of have something that just like kind of pays the bills?
Yeah, I mean,
and then
like
just do your own thing.
That could be like an end goal. I mean, I've always wanted to be like my own boss. So if I could eventually get to that point of like starting my own
company,
ad company, then that would be awesome. But as of now, I like the advertising part of it. I wouldn't mind like different fields of it, like marketing research, to see like what people like and all that stuff whenever it comes to companies. But for now, I feel like I'm just going with the flow. And then,
do you think college prepared you for
absolutely not? I'm gonna stop you there. Absolutely not.
Yeah. Do you think it taught you more like real life skills than everything?
Like I said before, it taught me
time management.
Time management. That's the biggest thing. Because like, I don't know, but
Joe's having a field day. He's loading the cannons right now.
Whenever I was mentally checked out from college, not one, but two of my professors said that college does not prepare you for anything.
Yeah. I mean, like our sales professor.
They said that the life lessons that you take from college prepares you for the real world, but like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like the piece of paper is at the end of the road is gonna be good because it's gonna help me get a job, but like,
Yeah, I mean, me and Wade had a conversation yesterday. Our conversation was like with everyone kind of going to school nowadays, like as that's like kind of like what
it's like the safety net.
yeah, it's the safety net, and that's kind of what everyone's reinforcing. It's like, all right, after high school, you have to go here. Do you think that it could go one of two directions, I feel like. Do you think that the diploma is going to become obsolete, or do you think it's going to have to become a requirement to where, in order to, like, let's say, I mean, this is a dramatic change, but let's say, in order to go to work at McDonald's, you have to have a diploma. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you feel like...
I don't ever see that happening, but I feel like with...
diplomas in high school or diplomas in college?
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
College.
no. So, I mean... It's,
but, like, you know what I'm saying, though. Not
Yeah.
necessarily McDonald's, but in general, do you see the diploma becoming obsolete with everyone attending college?
I feel like if I was to take the 4 years that I spent in college...
And the money.
And the money, yeah. And I invested that into, like, just learning the stuff by myself for what I need to know for a certain job. I feel like I would be better off because I would be learning at my own pace. I wouldn't be taking exams. I could just like read it and retain the knowledge myself. But I feel like at the end of the road, companies that are hiring people are only going to look at the piece of paper you get after 4 years.
But do you think
they're not I'm sorry. They're not going to take the knowledge that you could have gained just doing the stuff by yourself. They're only just going to look at, oh, he has a diploma.
Do you think that takes a certain type of mindset, though, to be able to do such a thing? Like you said, time management. Do you think you would still learn within those 4 years what you would need to? Because, like, you would have to kind of be on your own, like, ass about it. Like, all right, today I have to do something because otherwise, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like the reason why people decide to learn while they're in college is because they're like, oh my God, I'm paying tens of thousands of dollars for this.
That's why I don't understand why people skip classes. That never made sense to me. Like people, like he said that someone in his previous class, you know,
I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, a lot of kids aren't really paying for it, right? Their parents are paying for it, so you get disconnected, right? You don't.
Yeah, I guess each person's story is different with that type deal.
Right. If you have to work to pay for college, right, you have a different appreciation. And why would you ever skip class? I'm paying for this.
Exactly.
Right. If your parents are paying for it, you don't have the same appreciation. Or if you take a student loan out, like I had some issues my first kind of half year or so because there was a little bit of a disconnect there where, you know, I'm taking out a student loan and it's funny money, right? I sign a piece of paper for whatever it was,
seem real.
Right? It doesn't seem real. And so until you kind of get that reality check, that's part of the reason why I think you have that.
That's a good point. And I don't know what made me think of this. I think it's because we had talked about it last week. Me and Cam are in a sales class together. We're both in that sales class. And one of Joe's points, do you remember what the point I was going at with it about being good at it versus not being good at it in the sales discussion was?
You were talking
that
about...
you can't teach selling?
Yeah, I remember you saying
So
that.
do you agree with what Joe was saying? What's your take on that? Because like we both share like the same sales class. I don't know if you...
My stepdad's in the car sales scene, and he tried teaching me stuff that I could take away for our role playing project.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, but that's you. Like he was teaching me his method.
That's
true.
Was
like,
it's absolutely true.
And he was like, you need to be honest. And I was like, yeah, I mean, you got to be honest, but like his way of selling is probably going to be a lot different from your way of selling or
Joe's.
I mean, I guess it is all different within the industry, but I feel like at the end of the day, you can't really teach it. You just have to learn yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how...
So, I don't want to interrupt. So, I mean, I'm actually curious as you start to kind of do more interviews, you know, if they're asking you... I mean, my guess is that the diploma... I mean... It's a piece of paper, right? I'm curious if they ask you like what your social media skills are. You know, some of these what I'll call newer age sort of things. if they ask you what your activity levels are with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's one of those things where I feel like it's definitely shifting. And when I spoke to Frank on the phone, he's kind of more old school. He was like, I made a huge success, back when he used to do it. Because he was like 1 year, I mean, I don't want to put his business out there, but he's like 1 year I made like $520,000 just selling medical devices. And then I was like, geez, like I would really love to do that. But then in the next conversation, he's like, yeah, by the way, when you're going in for your Zoom interview, you have to shave your beard because companies aren't going to like beards or whatever. And it's just like, I think we're kind of shifting from that old school approach of like looking at, all right, well, you're not allowed to have tattoos, not allowed to have beard.
Yeah.
To like a newer, what Joe's saying, like, oh, you could do this, but can you also on your application run a social media account? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's definitely a shift, I feel like, in that. And I guess like,
Because I mean, if you ask me about the value of a degree, I think that still, so like for some of the, what I'll call stodgier or old school companies, like, I don't know, if you go into like accounting or something and you go to like Arthur Anderson or Deloitte, or I can't even think of some of the names, but some of these, premium places, right? They're still going to require a degree, or they're going to look more favorably on the degree and where you got it. I think as you go further downstream, people just at the end of the day want to know if you can do the job or not.
And if you're going to be with them long term, like I feel like a company's looking to hire someone for longevity, you know what I mean? They want to grow with you would want to grow with somebody rather than just hire someone just because their credentials. Like, I mean, I don't know.
With the
that might be me personally saying that though.
Unless it's a privately owned small company, any publicly traded company,
they're not
does not value you as anything more than a number. I hate to say it because I work for a company that I think treats me really well, but it's a publicly traded company, and quite frankly, I know if like the market turned and things got bad, I'm a number,
you
right?
Think so?
I'm a widget, absolutely.
No, I believe that 1,000%.
Privately held, it's family owned or something like that. Different story. Like, those people will typically. It's excruciatingly painful to let people go. And even within a publicly traded company, right? Your boss, has feelings, right? Don't get me wrong, right? Him having to let you go could be very difficult for him personally, but as a company, as a corporation, you are just a widget.
For sure.
That's how I felt like whenever I was working at Sam's Club.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like they didn't really cater to their employees. They just kind of, like you said, just thought of them as a number, and it was just like,
yeah, I mean, that's the problem, I feel like, because like once you get to a certain point, you like, for example, like, and sorry to cut you off, you can continue what you're saying, like for my buddy's trying to work at Amazon, and he's like, well, I don't want to go there because I hear their like turnaround rates like over 100%. Like once you work there for a certain amount of time, like everyone just like quits or leaves or whatever. But they're such a big company where they have all the leverage. Like, oh, you want to raise because you've been working here for 5 years? Like, we have 1,000 other people that are lined up ready to do the same job that you could do.
yeah.
So it's like, where's, like, what Joe was saying, the bigger companies have all the leverage versus those mom and pop shops that.
Yeah, I feel like that's a common thing within the really, really big companies, is that they just don't really value their workers like a smaller business would.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like that's just gonna how it's gonna be for a very long time, if not the rest of the rest of the world.
Sort of the way it's always been.
Yeah.
I mean, the one way to look at like an Amazon or something like that is, sure, you might be one of 1,000 or whatever it might be in that particular facility. The nice thing about a place like that is there's probably a lot more upward mobility, though. There's opportunities to move if you have that drive and desire. Right, I'm sure they've got tons of management positions that you can kind of move yourself into.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, right, whenever you take a job, you need to have a game plan. It can't be just, I mean, if you take a position just for the money and because you kind of think you need to have a job, that's short-term thinking, and you're going to burn out and you're just never going to be happy, right? If you work for a company that you like, I mean, I tell people this. I had the opportunity to obviously work at Apple for 3 years, and I was an Apple junkie. So in my long working career, those 3 years were like the best years I've ever had, because I was actually every day waking up selling
Excited
a product
to
that
work.
I used in my personal life every minute of the day, and absolutely loved it. Right.
Yeah.
And only left because I didn't have much of a choice. It was kind of,
that's just
external
extra
things, but
confidence.
there's value in that. Right. So
I feel like that's one of our strong suits of why we succeeded so well in our
the project.
our sales
I was
thing.
just about to bring that up. Yeah.
Because like I was selling in my role playing project, I was selling this
Lululemon,
brand called
or
Fabletics
Fabletics,
shorts.
that's what it was.
They
Sorry.
were Fabletics shorts, and I use them every day. So like the benefits of
Right.
them, I felt like I was selling them so well, and like I felt like I really didn't need to practice that much.
Even
I mean,
if
we
we
just
went off script, like
Yeah.
you were like you could bounce
we
it
were
right back.
we were the only people to like not use.
Script at all.
Script,
Yeah, we kind of
yeah.
went off the cuff. That was good. I mean, I was selling the exclusive minds mask. It was
So
good.
you had people in the sales class that were reading off of like cue cards or
Oh
something.
It was so obvious. Like they were,
God.
they sounded like a robot. They were like,
Yeah.
And the
this
reason why
this
you
is a
should
400
buy this
level class, by the way. Like you know,
It's like a high level
yeah,
class.
high
It was
level
a
class. I don't know if
300,
it 300,
Oh,
but
that's just awful.
yeah, they would have it like
speaking emphasis course.
Yeah.
And like
we just went up there. We had the whole layout.
Well, I shouldn't
like-
laugh because I mean, obviously, I still see people come into these environments where they'll put up a PowerPoint deck and they will read
Oh,
the slides.
That's a big no. They're teaching
and
us
I'm
that in
like,
school.
are you kidding me with
Yeah.
this? Right?
But
I mean,
I feel like it just goes to show like if you can't be prepared for like a class presentation, what makes you think you're going to be prepared for like a job in sales or something?
Absolutely. And,
Wow.
these are people who you're never going to see again versus like what Joe's saying. When you're at work, you're going to see these people for the rest of,
And you're going to make an
your
impression on these
career.
people.
Yeah. So like you want to make sure that, that you're looking up at the board like a minimalistic amount of times. Like, all right, we're going to go over these 3 points.
And you're
kinda
just like
fire
pointing
off.
to
Yeah,
like
exactly.
stuff
Whereas
that's
like
all right.
people put up, and this is my absolute pet peeve. If I ever see this on a PowerPoint, like I start cringing. They'll have a PowerPoint and it'll be paragraphs on the PowerPoint.
Yep.
And I'm like, just do dots. Just do like short words like
speak,
exclusive minds mask,
yeah.
polyurethane. You know what
Just
I mean?
speak the paragraphs. Just make on the PowerPoint slides like
The notes.
the main
Yeah.
like stuff you need to like highlight.
And that's your PowerPoint presentation tip of the day. Do notes, not paragraphs.
Brought to you by Exclusive Minds.
Exclusive Minds
few
Podcast.com.
words as possible.
Yeah, I don't know. But we're here now, man. We're about to graduate. I'm hyped.
Yeah, it's been a long.
The
a
fun
long journey.
begins.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just like honestly just ready. I mean,
Did you hear back from your people?
oh yeah, how'd that go?
It went well. They just said they're gonna reach out to me this week. I kind of just assumed that it was gonna be Monday, so we're waiting. I'm still waiting. I should probably send them a follow-up email just saying like, hey, how's everything
Yes,
going?
You should do that.
Well, I
Yeah.
sent them one like after. I was just like, I don't want to keep like annoying them. Like, hey, like it was great speaking with you, but I'll say like, hey, when am I gonna hear anything, or maybe call somebody. But
That's one of the most important things like my mom's taught me about like something pertaining to a job is like following up
yeah, for sure.
because yeah, I mean that's just go off what you were saying, but
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna probably say like, hey, just still waiting to hear back from you and everything like that. And then I also got another one lined up. It's in Center City, Philly, which isn't that terrible, but it's kind of like a far drive for me because it's like a hybrid thing. It's the same thing like remote, but I think on like Tuesdays and Thursdays they want you to go in.
Take the
drive.
train from Parksburg,
Yeah, that's a good
which
idea.
is
probably
pretty,
have to wake up
pretty
very
straightforward.
early,
Yeah, and then just go down there, work in I guess an office of some sort.
but yeah,
Get a nice internship. So I know someone that works there too, and they said they'd vouch for me or whatever. So I was like,
awesome.
yeah, might as
That's
well do it.
awesome.
Do you have any internship things lined up?
Not yet.
Yeah.
I
You should go to
really
IBM with your mom.
Yeah, I mean, she was like, I was like talking to her about it. And she was like, yeah, you just got to throw in an application. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. But I feel like where I'm at right now is just kind of busy, and I feel like I really need to start like hammering down what I'm gonna do like for my internship.
I think we just got to start playing Call of Duty professionally.
and just make all of our money.
Just make all of our money that way.
Yeah. Now, but on a serious note, I feel like there's a lot of people that I know that are like, oh, I'm not doing internship,
Really?
and then I'm like,
Yeah. That's not really smart.
whenever the employer's looking at a stack of paper, they're like, experience?
Zero.
Zero.
That goes back to the last conversation we just had.
Exactly. It's like you gotta. It'd be within your best interest. I mean, it's your life. I'm not gonna like tell you what to do, but
I feel like the biggest like cop out for these companies is like they're trying to get interns and not pay them. Like they're like, all right, you have to come here 40 hours a week, but we're not going to pay you. Like, what kind of like malarkey is this, bro? Like, I'm not trying to do nothing like that.
for maybe a job at the end of the
maybe a
road.
job, yeah, no, you won't catch me. No. Any thoughts on that?
It's like,
It's a long road ahead.
yeah.
It'd be interesting though to come back to this after we get like jobs and stuff.
Yeah.
See what the dynamics like, the difference and whatnot. How many? I forgot to ask. I know we're kind of off topic with it now. How many episodes did you end up doing with your thing? And like, when did you start noticing that it was getting more difficult, or do you feel like it was like relatively easy?
I felt like the first. I think I did like 9 or 10 or 11 or 12
Catching
episodes.
up. Yeah.
So it really started to get taxing on me probably after like the 4th episode.
Just because like
I was having fun with it. Like I was
Yeah.
like, this is like what I want to do whenever I like get it. Well, before I came to college, my dream job was like a cinematographer, a videographer. So like me being able to record these episodes of the podcast and then being able to edit it, I was like, this is awesome. Like I could probably use this for like a portfolio to
sure.
get my name out there. And then I was like, well. And then I applied to be in the business part of Westchester for college, and then I was like, well, it's not really gonna be my major anymore, so like,
yeah.
So I was just like, I'll just
Just
keep doing it,
just
keep
do
doing it for fun,
now.
and then
Do you
I don't
see
know.
yourself starting it back up again, or do you think it's the ship sailed for that one?
If I restart it, I feel like I want to do it right, like how you guys have it right now. It's like this is awesome. For just like starting like your first podcast, this is like awesome. Like good equipment, and well, I mean back then I was kind of on like a tight budget because I was working at like Wendy's or something, and making.
Imagine
like,
pulling up to the Wendy's drive-through, looking through the window, and seeing this guy.
I mean, the crazy thing is this really isn't an expensive rig. I mean,
I feel like the way that you guys have this set up between conversations and even equipment, it's just like even the atmosphere, like.
Yeah,
I like this atmosphere.
I mean, I feel like it's easier with me and him because it's like not one person. I feel like if it was just like me or just him on the thing, kind of like going back and forth,
and you guys like share like the same
it kind of just
interest.
It adds like two dynamics to it because there's always conversation going on. There's never like a dull moment, and if there is a dull moment, the other person's like, all right, moving on to the next topic or something like that.
Yeah,
and you're kind of getting a two-way conversation street. Speaking of which, what are we at?
We're at an hour, so we should probably.
I figured so.
That was a quick out.
Yeah, I didn't even.
That's what everyone
wasn't paying attention. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, we
do this every time.
Yeah.
Say this every time. It's kind of just in cadence at this point, you know.
Yeah.
Just comes here and then it's like a time machine. Just how it passes by.
No, this is awesome.
Do you know where this what this podcast is brought to you by?
Exclusive Minds.
There you go.
Got it. I was
This
waiting for you.
podcast has been brought to you by Exclusive Minds.
Where can you find the
LLC.
people? Yeah, where can you find us at?
You
Do you know
can
the
find
website?
them
Like?
at what's the abbreviation? www.exmnds.com.
Excellent.
Boy.
There we go.
You might want a free T-shirt after this.
One of those new T-shirts that hasn't been released yet.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, minimalistic, super nice. You see it?
Yeah.
If you could describe this T-shirt in one word, what would you say? Or 3 words?
Fire.
Okay.
There we
Fair
go.
enough. That's it. All right. Well, thank you for listening in. It's been Rook.
Joe.
And your guest, Cameron.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back maybe this weekend for the recap podcast, or hopefully sometime soon. It's been fun. We'll have to get you back on.
Yeah,
you
this
know,
was awesome. Thank you guys for having me.
absolutely, man.
It
It was a
awesome.
blast. But everyone, take it easy.
All right, see y'all.
Peace out.
Yeah. Let me drop exclusive game from my exclusive mind. You be out here chasing fame, I stay steady on my grind. 0 diamonds, 0 chains, from my brain is where I shine. Hit you with them good lyrics, I ain't writing and I'm dying. And right now I'm alive, so check it. I reckon I shouldn't cuss on this record. I don't cuss on them often because I'm applying pressure. Grab that fire grind. 0 diamonds, 0 chains, from my brain is where I shine. Hit you with them good lyrics, I ain't writing and I'm dying. And right now I'm alive, so check it. I reckon I shouldn't cuss on this record. I don't cuss on them often because I'm applying pressure. Grab that fire from my dresser. EXM, who does it better? No, I won't let up. Gas pedal fully pressed, I do the dash to the checks. If it ain't assets, I'm never stressed. I keep it calm and collect. Most of y'all stuck in some debt, and you got bad credit. I learned my lesson, I was young and foolish, now I'm better. I kept my head up through the stormiest weather. Wipe my eyes and focused on where I'm headed. We call that constant progression. If we in Vegas and the option is betting on me, you know we cashing out to the teller. Now let me switch my endeavor, change up my whole approach. Let's have a toast to those who do the most. Achieving goals on the road to their dreams, on the path to the cream, counting stacks with their team, living lavishly, but still actively aware that they can be a casualty. So they don't lack humility and they don't dabble with degree. Yes, they focused on the plan ahead. They know impact will lead to bread, and the bread equals success and less frets. Got some things to accomplish. When someone hits my line, it's not about some nonsense. We making moves, always grinding, we popping. You know we not gonna stop, and never no option but time, and the perfect time is right now. Not caught up in tomorrow. I'm all about making a conscious decision while I'm living. Make a choice, then I'm committed to that vision. I pivot if necessary. It's scary when you get caught in a position that isn't hitting you down bad because your persistence in the wrong direction. Just learn your lesson, you gotta check it. Audit you and keep on getting better. That's the motive, that's the method, and I'm headed further than I ever thought I could make it. I wouldn't stop unless my pulse flat lines like that doctor lost his patience.